This is a new type of bike packing handlebar, and as you can see, it has a slightly higher rise than most. Now, it has three features, but the main one is that it produces a slightly more upright and arguably more comfortable riding position for those longer multi-day bike packing trips. I would go one step further and suggest that for an older cyclist like myself, it could be the ideal bike packing bar. If you are confident you have your bike fit dialed in perfectly, then great, this probably isn't for you. But in my experience, bike fits don't usually work that way.
What might work during the bike fitting when you're fresh and fit might not work several days into a long ride, aching from the effort and having slept in a tent.
Consequently, after almost every bike fit that I've had, I've ended up flipping the stem a bit like this when I'm going onto a multi-day ride. It just helps to be that little bit higher. Purists, usually roadies, will snigger at that, but the top shelf handlebar does away with it. Well, not the sniggering, but the need to flip the stem, although mine still is, because I'm just demoing this one. This is a popular bike packing bar, but for me that flare is too great and it kinks my wrist at an uncomfortable angle. These are the Redshift kitchen sink bars that come with and without this loop. The flare is much more gentle, and I have come to love these bars, particularly when Redshift came up with a neat little bag to fit just inside that loop.
I took this setup on the Torino-Nice rally in 2022 and it proved very comfortable. The front bag, my Haribo holder, was exceptionally useful. I was loath to take these off.
So what are the three things that these bars bring? Well, firstly, there is a clear run to add bike computers, spot tracker, lights, that sort of thing. And that is particularly useful if you have a front bag, because it can attach to the lower bar, and there may even be a specialist bag coming for these bars.
Incidentally, if you attach any bag to the top shelf, the bottom bar stops them flopping around and they're much more stable.
Secondly, if you want to get all racy, you could quickly drop the whole thing down and clamp the stem to this top bar, lowering the whole set of bars. And the third is height, as we've discussed. And the difference actually is not as great as it first seems. The kitchen sink bars have an upward curve, and when you line them up with these new ones, the height gain of these new bars is only half what it first appears to be. Redshift has carried over that flare from the kitchen sink bars to these, and effectively it gives you a third touring position. You've got this, and you've also got this. The drops aren't just for racy moments or for control in descending. They really are a genuine touring position, especially with the addition of these cruise control grips.
Redshift have a knack of coming up with products you think you don't need until you try them. You'd expect the shock stop stem to make the front end spongy. It doesn't. It's very impressive. Likewise, the shock stop seat post, which you'll now spot under the saddles of countless off-road racers. Neither are suspension, they just make rough riding more comfortable. So don't judge the top shelf bars too quickly.
Do they work? Well, yes. Obviously, you're going to get a higher riding position. But are they more comfortable? Well, that is going to be a more personal choice. Initially, they felt quite weird, but within 5 minutes, gosh, they felt totally normal. I'm going to need a few more longer rides to be absolutely sure. But the first impressions are good.
I'll leave these on this bike and get back to you when I have something to report. In the meantime, please find videos from my older athlete series here and adventure cycling here. And I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.